Hi, well, my name is Raquel Meyers. I'm a Spanish graphician and animator, but I'm based in Gothenburg in Sweden. And I define what I do as Keyboardslo. That means like drawing and crafting by typing. So it kind of came from the also Swedish word like dataslöjd that is related more like with coding. And I kind of interested in like all home computers from the 80s, like the Commodore 64, and also like embroidery and stuff, and teletext, that in German is video text. So I'm gonna explain you a little bit how because to be honest, I just make 3 games in my life, but I kind of like relate it somehow for the kind of work I do. So I'm gonna explain you a little bit how I ended here, and yeah. So my background is photography, like analog photography, and a bit nervous. And yeah, and this is kind of like how I start. My brother, that was like 6 years older than me, he really worked with computer, but he never really let me to use it, so I always have to find the way when he was not there. And I did a little bit of basic, but somehow, some way it didn't came up. But in the early 2000s, I found like the AC64 database from like music, like also from games and musician. And suddenly I was kind of like really interesting and I really like it. But since I didn't have any background, I start to kind of like back in time. And I remember when I met my friends in the arcade machines. So that's kind of like, as a play or way to enter, I decided to use this kind of editor that you can go to the ROMs, like especially like the Game Boys, and you can just modify the grids and make some kind of animation, some stuff. And it was some kind of like a starting point. But it didn't really fit, so I really want to do visuals on my own. So I started to make more like pixel graphics. And I use it for like, I started also to collaborate with like cheap musicians, like the Swedish one, Go to 80, Bubbly Fish, Glomat. And I made like video clips and live visual for performance. And I kind of like play like in the Blip Festival in Tokyo, thematics, like a lot of VJ festivals. And kind of like to show you what kind of, because this is just like standstills. I'm gonna show you a video I made for the release of the game Idora, but Loco Malito. So they made like a release with an extra CD that it was, with like remixes of the soundtracks and the videos. And this is one called Robert Chase, made by Go to 80 the music, and I made like the graphics. Thanks. And so yeah, after 6 years of making like pixel graphics and stuff, kind of like I got like overload, and I need to like question and kind of like challenge myself. So I decided to change pixels by text characters. So I started to work with like ASCII and ANSI, and kind of like decide what I really am interested in that. So it was really like the storytelling, like the PETSCI, that is the character set for the Commodore 64. And I kind of also jump into the Swedish demo scene, and yeah, and the use of using like to make graphics with the C64 is in the keyboard you have like all the characters, so it's kind of like a typewriter keyboard mode. And also, since I was living in Sweden, I kind of like get into the Sloyd, that is the craft, because it's kind of related with like some kind of like embroidery or like knitting kind of process to work with. So it's like it needs time, you need to like concentrate, it's kind of like related. And also like teletext, because yeah, I get in touch with a teletext engineer in the UK that he developed an inserter, so you can create your own teletext signal. And I start this Tumblr also with Go280, with kind of all related works from the past and nowadays related with text mode, that is like text-based graphics. So I'm gonna show you, so yeah, this is like the kind of like some samples of the PETSCI graphics that I made with the C64. That is all text characters, basically more like triangles and squares and stuff, and everything is just typed in the keyboard, like a kind of secretary mode. And yeah, you can make all these, that it looks like pixel, but it's just text characters. And yeah, so I made some portraits of my family. And also, yeah, there's like a big demo scene in Sweden, related more like with the Commodore 64 and the Amiga. And suddenly I jump into that and I start to make like graphics for demos. And this is, yeah, I'm kind of part of a demo group called Hack and Trade, and we were like one of the biggest parties, like the Data Storm. And we just made these several demos that, yeah, it's a bit tricky to play it here, but yeah, there's the CSDB site, you can find all the demos and everything. And yeah, okay, go too fast. And so yeah, I've been working just with like text graphics and text characters, and I've been making like several projects. And this year I was invited to some kind of like a kids performance in Paris in like a lyric, and we make like a project called the Yetis and Machines. So it was like kind of like inspired in the Professor Balthasar, but with a Yeti and like a super crazy machine that he solved all the problems playing music. So, and this is kind of like the video promo. Yeah, this is the Jettison machine. And yeah, I make several projects. Like this was a disc, yeah, music disc, kind of like on internet. There was this last year this Rome festival. So there were like several like pavilions, and one it was like text mode based. So there was a lot of work with like ASCII, Unicode, and all kinds of things. And that was a music disc just with like several remixes. Like the original song was from Go280. And yeah, you can just choose your song, you can customize your text, and you can just play it online, and you got all these monkey crazy, it's called Animal Romantic, so some kind of porn monkey based naked girl, really, I don't know. Kind of like a strange thing, but it's also kind of my, I mean, before when I was making like the pixel graphics, everybody called it like DC cute, brute stuff, because I didn't like, kind of in the first view, we're like, that's super nice, super cute, but it was really like faster, like if I can get into your head. And I kind of like have these crazy kind of atmospheres that I really like it, like make weird stuff. And yeah, and also I started to make with like video text, teletext, and in 2012, there was the 30th anniversary of the teletext in Finland, and they make this international teletext art festival. And so you can submit your teletext pages, and they were broadcast in the Finnish TV, and also it was in the German TV in the ADR, and this year also was the new convocatory for the teletext, and it was also like for 1 month in the ADR test in Austrian and there's another place. And this is kind of like the first ones I submit, some kind of storytelling with amusement parks and rabbits puking in the having fun. And the other one was like the journey of the sun, and I got some kind of honorary mention of storytelling. Like it was only, you can submit only four pages, so it was not so much room for telling a story, but it seems I managed. And I also, I mean, working with teletext, you can use an editor and so on, but it's not really fun. So the real fun is be able to submit your pages to a TV and just use the remote control. And I use that for like live performance. So now I combine like live typing graphics on the C64 and the teletext graphics. So I just use a remote control, I just trigger the transparent mode, and I don't need a mixer or anything, it's just like, and it's really fun, it's kind of like a, and yeah. And so also, because I was really interested in all base, like text characters and how kind of came from that. So I started to make some kind of like research that I put it in a Tumblr, also with Go280. And I mean, the labels and the etiquettes and all the stuff is always really tricky to work with. So I kind of like, before 19th century, that is kind of like no technology kind of involved. So it's more like mosaic style, poetry, calligraphy, like also Sebastian Truchet, that he made like these patterns in the 18th century. So it's kind of like mosaic, and it's kind of something that you use now. And after 19th century, like Morse code, like grid, mosaic, typewriter art, concrete poetry, like the radio teletype, and the text mode by itself, this is like a lot of variation, depends on what technology you're using, what text character is in there. There's also like ASCII, PETSCII, ANSI, FANCI, that is a version of ANSI, but for building games, but his own editor and stuff. Like the BBS graphics, Sharksky. Sharksky from the Japanese computer, the MZ700, that is kind of similar to the 64. In fact, if you convert graphics from one to each other, they're like pretty similar. It's just the Japanese is more like high contrast. And this is some kind of examples of ASCII graphics. This is embroidery from a screen from a game. This is a tattoo from a McDonald's ticket. It's a video text, ANSI, because it's like the ASCII but with colors, typewriter. This is like the Japanese version because it got its own characters. This is, the one before was Twitter. I mean, this is also like PETSCII. This is radio teletype, that people were sending porn in the 60s just on radio waves. That was the thing. So there's a lot of porn, and in fact we have like a category for porn, because it's like it's really amazing, like the amount of porn stuff related with just text characters. So it's, and yeah, and this year was invited some kind of big show in Paris that was created with Adam Barton, and it was like full screen. So he have these big screens and this watch, and I sent some kind of typewriter animations, and this is on a kind of like a LED screen. The pictures are a bit, well. And yeah, this is an example of like the live performance using teletext and Petsky. Well, in fact, the background is basic because it's just like 2 lines code, like really basic, like print this, random that, choose this character, and just like make a scroll. So it's kind of, I really like to play with these 2 things, just mixing 2 very old techniques, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I don't know if I went too fast. I don't know, what time is it? Okay, I went very fast. So yeah, basically, I mean, as I say, I'm not like, okay, I forgot that should be here, but I think I forgot it. I was invited by LA Games like last year for the indie game pack, and it was kind of like the first time that I made like a serious game or was like trying to do. And it was, so I work with the Go280 for the music and Jens Nirme for like the coding, and we make like a bass tracker that kind of like the storyline is like a guy goes on holidays, he goes to some kind of island, finds some monkeys that play music, and he decides to take them to the real world and get famous and rich. So you need to, so the goal of the game is like you need to train the monkeys to play music, and it's like in like a tracker base. So you start in the garage, so you have to use the keyboard to go with the rhythm of the song. And if you don't do, the monkeys get like crazy and they start to fuck it up everything and start to make monkey sounds. And also there's some kind of beer thing coming up, some pills, so they get more fucked up or super slow. And you have to go to several labels, like, first the garage, first concert, like the TV show, and after that you got like the super mega concert, and it just get really, really complicated. But this game, it should be in the exhibition, but I don't know why I miss it. Maybe I went too fast. No? Here. Sorry. So this is like the intro for the game. So it's kind of like the storytelling. I don't have sound. It's only like the GIF. But the game is gonna be on the exhibition. So I think like, a lot of money, a lot of business, just bring it to me. So and it's called Become Monocom, and so I don't know, maybe you have some questions. Because I went too fast. So I don't know, there's something that you would like to ask, you would like to know, like, yes?
Where's the second microphone? Oh, yeah.
Hi. I was just wondering, you're talking about embroidery and things, and I was just wondering if you're talking about live creation of those graphics. Are you doing those line by line kind of live? So it's kind of like weaving on a loom.
Yeah, in fact, I was using first like a software for the 64 that is called Letter Operator, and it's like you got the screen, like a black screen, you can just set up a speed, but there's no control set, no copy paste, no anything. So you just sit there, type as long as you want, or as long as you get crazy, and if you fuck it up, you fuck it up. Like, there's only like, you type, you save it, and after you see it, like, okay, I was lucky, I was not. So it's really like, I don't know, after making all these pixel graphics and everything, it became some kind of like automatic, like there was not really a challenge. And suddenly, you know, like have this old computer, like no internet, no anything, just a black screen and text character. You sit down and type, and you just get into that. So it's kind of like a refreshing way of thinking, and it's really similar to like knitting or weaving or making embroidery, because it's kind of like you go line by line, you type, you need to prepare, you need to kind of think of what you're gonna do a little bit. Because yeah, you can make like abstract patterns and stuff like that, but if you really want to make like telling a story or something, that it's been always like my goal about making all these kinds of things. Not just like decoration graphics or like wallpaper, like who want to see that? It's just like boring. Just tell something, or at least, you know, make people laugh, or, I mean, not just have like a, yeah, okay, 5 minutes, yeah, I'm going to drink a beer, fuck you. So that is, and I don't know, I take a lot of time, I really like it and really enjoyed it. I know that is not for everyone. Also, like, because I mean, using all computers, I mean, for coding, yeah, sure, use the emulator or anything, it goes faster and you can fix. But with the graphics, you need to have like a mapping of the keyboard, where are all the character sets. It's kind of not the same feeling. This is really like automatic. There's also something I really like. It's just you plug in the computer, even if you have like the big screen, you already can type and you can already make something. And it's really automatic, direct, no bullshit, just sit down, have fun, type, and yeah, it's kind of like a secretary mode. It's mixing between secretary, crafting, nerdy stuff. But I don't know, I kind of find after trying so many things, I kind of find like my way of doing graphics and animation and stuff, and I kind of really like it, and I really enjoyed it, and yeah, so.
I wanted to ask if you prepare sketches before typing the illustration, you have a reference, or is it completely done live?
That's a tricky question. Normally, I'm not like a super prepared. I'm like really chaotic when I make these things. Maybe I have like one idea, maybe I make like one sketch, or like have in my mind one character or something. But for me, the bigger inspiration, because I mean, with like graphics and animation, is 50% that and 50% sound. So for me, sound is like the thing that trigger kind of like all the animation on how everything is developed. So I make a little bit of sketch, because it's always nice to have some kind of idea, because if not, I mean, it's a long process, so you need to have some kind of goal to go. I mean, sometimes, yeah, you can improvise and maybe you get something, but it's kind of like half. But no, not so much preparation. And I also like live typing, like just sit down and type, kind of. That's also like what I was interested in the demo thing, because it's like 2 days you have to make a demo and that's it. So you just meet your coder, the musician, you just sit down, okay, I got this idea, blah, blah, yeah, let's do it. 2 days, and let's see what happened. So, I don't know, it's kind of like refreshing.
I was also wondering if for every successful illustration, how many failed ones? Because it's very difficult to fix, right? If there's a mistake.
No, I mean, now I managed to get because I've been working with Johan Kontliski. He made like also the LSDJ, the software to make music in the Game Boy. So he's like the coder of our demo thing group. And he finally made me one that I can copy paste. And that was something like, yeah, like a new word, especially for animation, because before I have to type everything. If I want to move it to the right, I have to make it again. So it was really like, yeah, but so yeah, there's a lot of fails, and you have to think that for 1 minute animation, maybe I spend like 5 hours, if I'm lucky, like everything goes smoothly, and I got it like, yeah, I success. But yeah, I would say like 2 or 5. I mean, I've been like, at the beginning it was really complicated, but now I'm kind of like more used to, so more you type, more you know, so you also find like your tricks, like, no, don't do this, don't do that. So it's just something that requires a bit of time, and you have to like it, because it's not for everyone. I also, yeah.
Okay, last question.
Are there concerns or something coming up to you and asking, hey, we will have this and that idea, we want that to be made an animation, or is it a pure hobby of yours?
Well, unfortunately, this thing is really complicated to live from. I guess it's like, yeah, I mean, I think it's for everyone. So you need to kind of like combine, I mean, I'm also like a normal graphic designer where like whatever that came to me, yeah, I mean, I need to pay the rent and so on. And, but for me, it's something that I really, really like it. Sometimes I've been like lucky to, you know, to be able to show it in like festivals or make performance and stuff like that. But yeah, but sometimes it's like, yeah, nobody really cares. There's no money. You just do it for fun. So yeah, it's a bit tricky. It's not like a full-time thing. It's more like passion behind. That is something that you do for fun.
Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.